Dog carcass in alley this morning, tire tread on burst stomach. This city is afraid of me. I have seen its true face. October 12th, 1985. The streets of New York are extended gutters, and the gutters are full of blood, and when the drains finally scab over, all the vermin will drown. The accumulated filth of all their sex and murder will foam up about their waists, and all the whores and politicians will look up and shout, "Save us!" And I'll look down and whisper, "No, this is not a hero's vow, it is a threat." In a world of neon-colored spandex and gods who walk among men, one man chose to become the void. He is the only variable in the equation that refuses to resolve. He is the ink blot that stares back. Today, we aren't looking at a superhero. We are performing an autopsy on the mind of Walter Kovacs, the man who looked at the apocalypse and refused to compromise. This is the truth about Rorschach. To understand the monster, you must first pity the child. Walter Joseph Kovacs was not born. He was discarded. Born in 1940 to a woman who didn't want him and a father who never showed his face, his first memories were not of love, but of resentment. His mother, Sylvia Kovacs, was a prostitute who viewed her son as an obstacle to her business. She beat him. She told him he should have been flushed away. She forced him to sit in the hallway while men visited her bedroom, listening to the sounds of his own neglect. The damage was absolute. By age 10, the softness of childhood had been beaten out of him. In 1951, when two neighborhood bullies attacked him, they expected a victim. Instead, they found a feral animal. Walter attacked them with a lit cigarette, blinding one and biting a chunk of flesh out of the other's face. He didn't fight to win, he fought to destroy. He was removed from his home and sent to the Lillian Charlton home for problem children. On paper, he improved. He excelled in religious education and gymnastics. He was quiet. He was polite. But the psychologists missed the truth. Walter hadn't been cured. He had simply learned to hide the abyss behind a mask of compliance. He was waiting. Upon leaving the home in 1956, Walter found work in a garment factory. It was mundane, invisible work for an invisible man. But fate, as it always does in a noir tragedy, arrived in the form of a dress. A customer with an Italian name had special ordered a dress made from a revolutionary new fabric created by Dr. Manhattan. It was a viscous material, 2 layers of latex trapping black and white fluids that responded to heat and pressure. The shapes shifted constantly, but the colors never mixed. Black and white. Pure. Absolute. Rorschach does not calculate. He enters a room of armed men with the intent of trauma. His fighting style is described by Night Owl as unpredictable and messy, but that is a tactical understatement. The customer, a woman named Kitty Genovese, rejected the dress. She called it ugly. Walter took it home. He didn't know why, but he felt a kinship with the fabric. It was honest. 2 years later, Kitty Genovese was murdered outside her apartment. The newspapers reported that dozens of neighbors heard her screaming. They heard her beg for her life, and not one of them called the police. Walter Kovacs read the report and realized that the moral world was a lie. He went home, took the rejected dress, and cut it up. He fashioned a mask that shifted with his breath. He looked in the mirror, and for the first time, he didn't see a disguise. He saw his true face. For a decade, Rorschach was just a vigilante. He was violent, yes, but he operated within the rules. He partnered with Night Owl. He left criminals tied up for the police. He was soft. Then came 1975, the Blair Roche case. This is the moment the man died, and the glitch took over. Rorschach promised the parents of 6-year-old Blair Roche that he would return their daughter unharmed. He believed it. He still believed that if you did the right thing, the universe would reward you. He tracked the kidnapper, a man named Gerald Grice, to an abandoned dressmaker's shop. He entered quietly, expecting a rescue. Instead, he found a furnace stuffed with charred children's clothes. He stepped into the backyard and saw 2 German shepherds fighting over a bone. He looked closer. It was a human femur. Something in Walter Kovacs snapped. The logic of the world collapsed. He realized that God had left the building and the only justice that existed was the justice he brought with him. He took a meat cleaver and killed the dogs instantly. Then he waited, and when Grice returned, Rorschach didn't arrest him. He threw the dead dogs through the window at him. He handcuffed Grice to the furnace. He poured kerosene around the room. He handed Grice a hacksaw. He didn't say a word about mercy. He simply told him, "You have a choice. Cut through the handcuffs, which will take 10 minutes, or cut through your wrist." Rorschach lit the match. He walked out into the snow and stood there for an hour, watching the building burn. He heard the screams, and he felt nothing but the cold satisfaction of a job finished. Walter Kovacs died in that fire. The man who walked away was Rorschach, and he would never compromise again. By 1985, Rorschach is a creature of pure nightmare. He walks the rain-slicked streets in a trench coat that smells of old sweat and rain. He eats cold beans from a can. He breaks fingers not because he enjoys it, but because it is efficient. When he is finally captured and sent to Sing Sing prison, the authorities make a fatal mistake. They think they have captured a man. They send a psychiatrist, Dr. Malcolm Long, to cure him. The sessions with Dr. Long are the psychological centerpiece of Rorschach's legend. Long is an optimist. He believes in redemption. He believes in redemption. He shows Rorschach ink blot tests, hoping to find the trauma. At first, Rorschach lies. He describes pretty flowers. He describes butterflies. He tries to protect the doctor. But eventually, Rorschach decides to tell the truth. He tells Dr. Long about the dog, about the bone, about the black and white fluids. He recounts the horror of existence so plainly, so factually, that it acts like a virus. Dr. Long doesn't cure Rorschach. Rorschach infects Dr. Long. The doctor stares into the abyss of Rorschach's worldview and realizes that the abyss is staring back. The doctor's marriage collapses. His hope dies. He realizes that Rorschach isn't crazy. He's just the only one awake. Inside the prison, Rorschach is surrounded by the men he put there. During lunch, an inmate threatens him with a shiv. Rorschach doesn't flinch. He grabs a pot of boiling fryer fat and throws it into the man's face. As the guards drag him away to solitary, he screams the line that defines his existence. "None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me." The tragedy of Rorschach culminates in the snow of Antarctica. He discovers the ultimate truth. Ozymandias, the smartest man in the world, has saved humanity by killing millions. He faked an alien attack on New York, uniting the superpowers in fear. It worked. The nuclear war is averted. The other heroes, Night Owl, Silk Spectre, even Dr. Manhattan, agree to keep the secret. They choose the greater good. They compromise. Rorschach cannot. His mind does not possess the gear for compromise. Even if it means the end of the world, a lie is a lie. Evil must be punished. Not even in the face of Armageddon, he says. He walks out into the snow, intending to tell the world the truth. Dr. Manhattan intercepts him. It is a confrontation between a god who sees time as a circle and a man who sees morality as a line. Rorschach knows he cannot win. He rips off his mask, weeping, not from fear, but from the sheer frustration of a universe that rewards liars. He screams at God to do it. Do it. Manhattan vaporizes him. Rorschach leaves no body, just a smear of red mist on the white snow. The ultimate noir ending. The detective solved the case, but the solution was his own death. They killed the man, but they couldn't kill the glitch. Before he left for Antarctica, Rorschach dropped his journal. Every filthy secret, every bitter observation, the ugly truth about Ozymandias, into the mail slot of a local newspaper. In the end, Ozymandias built his so-called utopia on a foundation of lies. Dr. Manhattan drifted out of the galaxy, too distant to ever understand what it means to be human. But Rorschach won. His journal remained. A ticking time bomb of ink and paper, waiting to be read, waiting to prove that truth is the only absolute in this rotten city. Walter Kovacs was a victim. Rorschach was a monster. But in a world built on compromise, he was the only one who was real. And he died as he lived, without a single shade of gray. And Earth? The journal unlocks even more conflict. But that's another story for another cold night. If you found something in this story, subscribe. Let me know which lost soul from the world of comics you want to see next. And remember, stay geeky, my friends.